Live, Clive. How do? Lee Marvin, part 5.
How we going, Sambo?
We're good.
We're good, yeah.
Life story. Pinned comment. Interviews 1 to 4. So people can follow him.
Yeah.
Away you go, mate.
Yeah,
Wherever
mate,
you want to go.
So I'll pick off from where I left off, really. So,
brief little where we were.
Brief little rundown, yeah. So I ended up getting addicted to crack cocaine when I was 17. Just a nice girl, tried it in a club and bang, I'm addicted. Before you know it, I'm addicted. So I'm running around my estate trying to earn a few quid and off whatnot.
I'll just adjust that. Carry on talking, mate.
Trying to earn a few quid, being addicted to crack. There we go. End up getting nicked for a couple of robberies. Robbed a couple of bleeding kids who've moved onto my estate to sell drugs on the canal.
Before we get going, just explain to people about the, it's not bravado, it's not.
No, it's.
Look at me. This is a tale to tell of starting on weed, starting with the bits of gas, the Tipex in school. Trying little new drugs, trying the ecstasy. It's not a glory road, is it?
Definitely
not in any way whatsoever.
Nothing
it's not something
glorified about it. It's the opposite of glorification. Do you know what I mean? I am absolutely ashamed that I used to behave in such a way. You know what I mean? And I don't expect people to say, "Oh, poor you." That's why I try and dress up, try and give you the worst of what I did with my life. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
I don't want sympathy for being like an orphan and having no direction in my life. And not being told anything.
But I hope that
my
people
responsibility.
can take a step back.
Yeah.
Look at the whole picture.
Yeah.
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 You do get choice in life, but some people's choices.
Yeah.
You don't get the same choices or whatever. Circumstances, relationships and that can dictate where you go, so...
Yeah, so my brain was moulded from very young, yeah, so, I was being abused from 11 to longer than I'd like to admit, to be honest with you, a long time. That affected me so much, I tried to have relationships when I was, with girls at, 14 and stuff, and, just didn't know how to manage. I couldn't think straight. Do you know what I mean?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
I don't know whether we've discussed this. Do you think because of the abuse, even though it's wrong, that people start, sort of experiment with sexual relationships earlier than you should be?
Well, that's what I did, Jeremy. And I was going to an under-14s nightclub, and some girl fancied me and a mate fancied me, and he ended up experimenting with them both. Which we were all kids. They were 16, I was 14, so it was all just a kiddie messing around as you do when your kids experimenting and stuff. But that was my first sexual relationship, with a female. You know what I mean? Was two girls. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Weird, yeah. But then when I was growing up, I was always aware that sex was always available on a plate because I was around the prostitutes a lot and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But I never took them up on the offer. I wasn't known as sleeping around with all the working girls and all that. That wasn't my cup of tea, you know what I mean? Because of the cocaine as well. I mean, it will heighten your sexual drive, but when you're overdoing it, cocaine, it's not going to heighten anything. It's just going to dull every sense you've got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, like I say, I tried crack very young, 17, got addicted to crack. Didn't know the addictiveness of it, didn't know how terribly horrifying it is to be an addict, yeah? Because to be an addict, you've got to think on your feet 24 hours a day. I mean, I was looking for money all day long. I was in the city centre shoplifting. I was getting into cars. Then at the night time, I was doing street robberies, silly ones, no violence, just drunken men half cut going to find a working girl on the street. Do you know what I mean? And we'd pull the lamps around the pants around their ankles and take the money and run off and go and buy drugs and whatnot. Yeah, so then I started making my own ecstasy. Me and my mate, he's a bouncer now on the doors, yeah. So me and him started going to the city centre and we was making our own pills. That was when I was still, the addiction had not gripped me too much then. I could still manage a daily life even though I was a crack addict, because I was still making enough money to carry me through. So say if I made £300 that day selling bits of weed and selling a few bits and earning a few quid, I could then at night time go and buy crack on the sly, get a taxi to Moss Side, go and buy crack, go back to my flat, sit there without anyone knowing and just smoke crack all night.
Did you ever buy food and stuff?
Well, probably not, no. Food would be the last thought, do you know what I mean? Food was kind of the last thing on your mind, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was the crack. I think I was using it as a comfort tool, I was using it as like an emotional blanket, what I was missing in my life.
A lot of people do, don't they? But
yeah, I was using it as a blanket.
Have you ever sort of taken drugs in moderation to, you know, for instance, when I used to smoke a bit of weed, so you go to a party with good friends,
yeah,
having a good time, a few beers,
yeah,
barbecue or something, and then maybe a couple of joints,
yeah,
and
no, I did
you'd enjoy the barbecue more because you'd be relaxed and...
Yeah, I did everything in excess, Sam. Everything in excess, mate. Everything. Like, I was doing whiz. I got into whiz when I was like 16 in a really bad way. And I'm just taking whiz all day, every day, and whizzing, yeah. It's not even funny, it's a joke, yeah. It was just up all night, up for 3 and 4 days at a time, high off amphetamine, do you know what I mean? And you just think it's a joke when you're young. You're kind of experimenting, but what you're doing is you're moulding yourself without you even realising it. And it is a warning.
Well, can I tell you, I went on a stag do, so we were in Newcastle, Whitley Bay, yeah. It was a good stag do. There was only about 8 lads. We had a cracking weekend. There was a lad there who I didn't know before, who was a decent lad, who were into his whiz.
Yeah.
And we come back on the Monday, so we went Friday, come back Monday. On the Sunday, he'd gone too much, couldn't sleep, you know, grinding his teeth and that for 24 hours. And I remember he couldn't come out with us. We went out on the Sunday night for some more beers, and when we got back, I just remember looking at him.
Yeah.
He was fucked.
Wasted. Yeah. So you start chewing the inside of your mouth and all that, don't you? You get
you know, and I know what.
You start picking.
Through ignorance, I'm sort of saying, because my cousin were there, I'm saying, do we need to get him? He says, no, I'll be all right. Just needs to ride it out.
Yeah. So what I did as well, this is what I mean, yeah. What happened, he basically was ostracising himself just from that moment. What you've just said, you've left him to...
Well, he lost off. We had to, we couldn't do anything with him.
So that's a perfect example of what happens as you start taking drugs, you start ostracising yourself.
Well, he had a good Saturday night with us.
Yeah,
we had Friday night.
And then he's quite happy to sit on his own then and just get spaced out for the next 2-3 days. I don't think he had a choice,
Marv. I think he were that screwed.
Well, that's it. So that's probably what used to happen to me. I was getting that twisted off the drugs. I didn't need anybody else's company or anyone else's space. Do you know what I mean, Sam? And like I say, when I heard my mate had killed himself, that kind of just pissed me off. I just thought, what's the point in living? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, what is the point in living on this earth? You know, what you're doing it for? I started questioning that. And we moved. My baby's mum, my first baby's mum, moved to Moston, and we moved into an haunted house. And little did we know the house was haunted. So what had happened is, there was a bunch of guys, before we moved in, we didn't know obviously, about a couple of weeks before we moved in, there was loads of lads taking drugs in the house. One of them's died in the house. The other ones have panicked, used the carpet in the living room to roll him up, carried him over to the railway tracks and left him on the railway tracks. And they all went to jail for like 3 years, you know, like for...
manslaughter?
No, I don't think it was a manslaughter. I think they got done for not declaring a body and whatnot, yeah. You know, because they realised that they didn't kill him, they thought they'd killed him, so they just panicked and So the police have gone and just DNA'd the whole house and found it. Anyway, it turns out that they found the people who did it, who put him on the railway tracks. And they all got 2 and 3 years for like not declaring a body or not giving a body a proper burial and whatnot, they call it, don't they? There's a few charges you got. So anyway, we moved in this house, and little did we know this house was like, obviously it had some bad energy in it, do you know what I mean? It needed cleansing and stuff. So
people won't understand that, some people will.
No, some people won't understand it. So yeah, we had a bad start straight away. So what happened was, I ended up, someone come to me with loads of alcohol, what they took out of a cellar, okay? So the alcohol was already tinged with, like, it already got badness surrounding it, right? So I put it in my house. So I filled my fridge up with this alcohol, okay? So the next morning, we see this kid, I'm sat on my step with my girlfriend at the time. We see this lad walk past. So we go, "Oi, man." So I don't want to say his name. So when we go, all right, John. So he's like, all right, mate, yeah. So we go, "Oh, I've got some alcohol, mate. Do you want some?" Like, and he's going, "Yeah, I'm just on my way to go and get me gyro." Right, so mentally, he's got money. He's on the way to go and cash his gyro. So we give him a couple of bottles of beer, send him on his merry way. I go out all day. I come back to my girlfriend sat on the step, crying her eyes out. I get out of a taxi. She runs at me, attacking me, going, "You fucking, why wasn't you here?" So I'm like, "What you on about? What you on about?" She's like, "The house got burgled," right? So I'm like, "What?" She said, "The house has been burgled. I'll come home from your mum's. The house has been ransacked, all right? The police have been, like, they've been and took fingerprints and all that." So I'm like, "What? Been burgled?" So I'm fuming. And as I come in the avenue in a taxi, outside the local shop round the corner is about 8 lads, all right? So, I know them all, yeah, know all these lads. So, anyway, my bird said, "We've been burgled." So I know for a fact, it's only these lads, because these lads are the gang off that estate. They're the only riff-raff, yeah? They're the only people who were committing crimes. So, I said, what have they took? So they've took my baby's lullaby light thing out of his bedroom, what puts him to sleep, yeah, and his little TV out of his bedroom, the little big wide back TV, so long ago it was, yeah. So they've had a print on the windowsill, and it's a Dunlop green flash shoe print. And I remembered one of the kids
wearing a pair of Dunlop green
wearing
flash.
a pair of Dunlop
I
green
ain't seen
flash.
a pair of them for
I've not seen
forever.
them. That's the last time I've ever seen a pair, all right? And I see this big Dunlop sign in the ink where the police have done it on the windowsill where they've climbed in, all right? Straight away, I know it's one of these kids in this gang. So I just ran out of the house, and I'm just seeing red, and I just grab him, and I just, like, obviously, I boot his legs from under him, and I drag him round to my house, right? And he's going, "Man, it's not me, it's not me." And I took his trainer off, and his trainer matched the house, you know what I mean? So I knew straight away the house had really bad energy on it, so I couldn't wait to get away from it, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we burgled my house, and the second-hand shop had bought all the baby's stuff. So God knows why a second-hand shop would want to buy second-hand baby clothes off a well-known house.
It's all about money, innit?
But it is what it is, yeah, that's what I mean. So he bought all my stuff, but he couldn't get all my stuff back because he'd sold some of it, right? So I ended up going in, and he compensates me £50 for my stuff, what he sold. But anyway, I just use that as an advantage. Remember, I'm addicted to crack by this time.
Yep.
I just start going in and saying, "Mate, you owe me more money, you owe me more money, you owe me more money." And I'm going in every day, you know what I mean? And I'm using him as like a money box a little bit. So he ends up shutting up the shop anyway. So I'm stuck now, I'm rolling round this estate, I'm addicted to crack. I can't do anything much because I'm at my limits of what I've done already, do you know what I mean? I'm getting a little name, a little reputation as being like naughty and watches, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Yeah. If he gets a chance, he'll fucking have what you've got. So as I say, I start doing this ecstasy scam in the clubs, all right? So I go home one Saturday morning, door gets kicked off, boom, get raided, police come. They find all of these fake pills. They take all of this white powder out my cupboards, To be fair, I was using it to make fake amphetamine when I needed to, yeah.
What was the powder?
I can't remember now what it was. I think it was like, I don't know. I can't remember what it was. It was something bitter.
Quite a bit of stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff what you
like
can use.
ephedrine and...
Yeah, it was like a bash what I'd had, yeah. So they took that, they just literally poured it out of the kitchen table onto the side and then bagged it up as if I'd been chopping it up, you know what I mean? So they had me anyway. So me, not knowing the courts and whatnot, I think I'm smart. So in an interview, they're going, so what was you doing with these? So I'm going, I was just selling them, you know, they're not real. But in my mind, I'm thinking, they can't do that because it's not real drugs. Damn right, they can do something. I get a charge sheet for possession with intent to supply, but it doesn't name the drug. It doesn't have a class. It says it's ecstasy, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's possession of that, and then possession of amphetamine, and then it's possession of cannabis because he had cannabis on me. So I'm just taking it as a bit of a joke, thinking it's nothing. So I go to court, went guilty. I get a combination order, which is community service and something else.
Yep.
So
what do you think to community service?
It was just...
Do you think if it was done right,
if it was done right, it'd be very good, yeah. It'd be good for everybody, do you know what I mean? Everyone would do, you should make you go and do a little trade or do a little course as a trade, do you know what I mean? Not just... Because literally they take you out in a van and you sweep in the roadside, do you know what I mean? And it's not really productive. I know that the discipline side of it, like you need to be punished. I get that bit.
Yeah.
But it's not any productive. You're not going to suddenly get a job as a sweeper.
No, but I think
the
problem was there were documentaries, yeah. So there's gangs of lads all smoking weed, and there's some instructor who's in charge of them trying to do a job, isn't there?
Yeah, that's
However, if it was done right, look, you either do this, productive, behave, turn up on time, no messing about, or you go straight to jail.
But really, Sam, them places are just hotbed for criminality because you just meet the best burglars there, the best drug dealers, people from not on your estate, and that's how you end up linking into other people's other crime.
Is there anything that would have stopped you at any point?
Being while I was addicted?
No.
I don't know, because that addiction was so intense, I couldn't think of anything else. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing else on my mind on a daily basis.
Doesn't that wear you out? Just
it mentally wore me down
all day.
Oh yeah, of course it does. Yeah, I mean, like, so because I'd done everything I could have got convicted for selling fake drugs, right? So I can't sell fake drugs anymore. I get convicted for robbery ×2. I go to prison for robbery ×2, my first ever sentence. Yeah. So I'm in prison, first ever sentence, robbery, I'm addicted to crack. No one's addressing my crack problem. No one's asking me why I'm in prison. Like, do you need help with a drug problem?
They're not asking you in prison?
No, they're not asking me in prison.
Can I ask you, right, because this is important, this bit.
Yeah.
You never went to a detox wing, did you?
No, I went to a detox wing. I did a couple of times when... I went on Subutex once. I started snorting subbies.
Right, so in reception, the procedure in reception, you get interviewed by reception screw, then you get interviewed by a nurse. Are you telling them you're an addict or not?
And you tell them I'm a crack addict, and what do they say? Well, there's nothing we can do for that.
Do they offer you a detox wing and you knock it back?
There's no detox you can get for being a crack addict. There's nothing what you can get.
So as a crack addict, will they not even look at putting you on detox?
No, because there's nothing to detox off. So what you're detoxing for? If you're just addicted to crack,
but because you have got an addiction, would you? The thing is about I understand the detox. I never thought of that before.
Yeah.
But on the detox wing, they have nursing staff who deal with drug issues.
Yeah.
They have a doctor overseeing them who deals with drug issues. The staff realise that people on there have got drug issues. Yeah. So surely.
And I'll put it to you a different way then. If you went in reception and said, I sniff coke every night, would they put you on a drug wing?
No.
Right then, so it's the same thing. Yeah.
Do you think that people understand
they probably
what crack is and having a crack addiction? The nurses that you spoke to, if you say you've got a crack addiction,
half of them didn't even know what it was at the time, Sam. Back then, so now obviously they've got a grip on uppers and being addicted to like uppers and stuff, aren't they? And being there's cocaine anonymous now. you know what I mean? So they've recognised that cocaine is a problem. But if you went to prison today and said, I sniff coke every night, they ain't going to suddenly put you on a detox wing. There's nothing
I think,
for you.
Marv, you'd probably be interviewed by some screw, and if they were
He'd
youngster,
agree with you.
yeah, of course they would. I told you my mate went out, he said, Sam, I'm too old, can't go out with these people anymore. They're all youngsters. We're in boozers, there's only me drinking, I'm drinking on my own.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm doing this.
And they're all going to toilet.
Mm.
I nearly said his name, like.
Yeah.
And they're saying, Mr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want a couple of lines?
Yeah, do you want a couple? And he's like, what the fucking hell?
Well, that's why I'm doing this, mate. It's because I know how close that line is.
They're not drinking now, youngsters, are they?
No, everyone's sniffing. The line between cocaine and crack cocaine is so thin. It's thinner than you even realise.
Let me ask you this then. So, you were obviously extreme, but someone who is taking coke, for like
the social somewhere, didn't it?
Yeah, but how much? All right, let's take me, right. I've never had coke, so tonight I'm going out. How much coke would I need
for a night out for yourself?
Value, yeah.
Probably 60 quid worth. Probably a gram would do you on your own. So you spend 60 quid, but then you probably get another one on your way home. So probably 2 grams, I'd say, to do you for a night. But you'd see, if you're sniffing cocaine and drinking alcohol, it will keep your buzz going longer. You can work, like if you just drink, Sam, you're fast asleep at 12 o'clock, drunk out your head, aren't you? Right? If you're sniffing cocaine, you're not asleep till 12 o'clock the next afternoon. Do you know what I mean? Quite easily, you'll do a day binge.
How ready available is it now?
It is everywhere. Cocaine is absolutely soaked into the fabric of society. Every other person sniffs cocaine. It's completely normal. If you said to me, I have a couple of lines every night, it's nothing, no one would bat an eyelid, would they? No one would bat an eyelid. So
probably not.
No one would bat an eyelid, mate.
Ask you something else.
And the extremes of that is, if you start sniffing and you can't pay your bills, you're getting hurt, don't you?
Right, next one then. So, do you think, like, prison officers should be drug tested?
1,000,000%. It should be a drug-free environment.
And alcohol.
And alcohol,
the amount of staff in the morning, when you stood there at 6, they'd let you in at 6:30. Mate, some people just smelt like pure vodka.
Sam, you can't say that, mate. On a Sunday afternoon, mate, all the staff would go to work. They'd come in pissed on Sunday afternoon. They'd be all pissed. Half the Strangeways staff would be pissed.
Yeah, but they should be addressing that.
They'd be steaming. They'd open your door like stinking. All right, lads, you're all right. Come on, come out.
They never tackled it. Do you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. There were loads of alcoholics, and I mean alcoholics. There was alcoholics that it was that obvious they were disappearing during the core day and coming back stinking.
Yeah.
The cons do it. The cons were taking the piss.
I remember.
I'm not having a go at them taking the piss.
Yeah.
So the managers knew it, the governors knew it, and they never challenged it.
If anything, you got past a bit of chewing gum, didn't you? If you stunk of alcohol, one of the other staff.
Well, if you're not going to take something on like that, mate, Yeah.
And when you think about the dealing with very, very serious criminals and, very serious situations, aren't they? How can you manage?
Well, you're not going to take me serious if I'm stood on a fucking landing on K-Wing half court, are you?
No, that's it. No, not at all, mate. I'd just laugh at you.
It was embarrassing. Do you know what, Marv? It was embarrassing and...
Yeah, it was madness.
And here's the thing, if somebody, I know people who are alcoholics, and so they'd approach them to prison, and say, you're alcoholic. No. If they say yeah, they've got a duty of care to help them.
Yeah.
If they say no, and, it was almost like they didn't want to catch him either. People had cans in the cars, they had cans in the training centre.
Well, how many of them are taking cocaine to work then, Sam?
I've no idea, mate.
There's probably a percentage, isn't there?
I've no idea.
Yeah,
I've no idea.
Keeping herself going throughout the day.
Probably. Well,
a good 1%.
Youngsters don't drink. They're taking.
That's the thing. It's the cocaine, mate. It's flooded. It's flooded society. Cocaine
it's normal
now. That's why I'm speaking so vehemently about being a cocaine addict. You can just slip into that crack so easy. Because I know of situations where if everyone's sniffing cocaine and the cocaine runs out and the only thing that's left is crack, and someone says to you, there's no sniff, but there's a smoke here of it, you're not going to think, oh, I'm not touching that, it's different. Because it's not, if you've just been snorting it and then suddenly the guy says, yeah, we can smoke some. You know, I've got no snorting powder left, I've only got smoking coke. So you was in a situation high as a kite, you've just been sniffing cocaine all night with your friends, and one of your friends on the fringes of your gang says, I've got no snorting coke left, but I've got a big piece of smoking coke. Yeah? Because that's what it is. Crack cocaine is cocaine what you can smoke. Then what situation you in then? It's like, am I going to sniff? I mean, am I going to not take cocaine, or am I going to smoke the pipe? And then once you have one go of that pipe, you'll never forget how nice that was. And I don't care what anyone says, crack cocaine is not the world's, it's not been named the world's most addictive drug for nothing, Sam. It is the world's most addictively powerful drug, because the way it hits your body, the effect it has on your body, what it does to you afterwards.
Do you think it's still that above sort of, I don't know, crystal meth and spice?
Well, I'll tell you. I'll fast forward my story a little bit, okay? So, I started taking spice when it was legal in 2012, okay? I was buying it.
Because people didn't, just to explain that, I remember where you could buy it, how much it cost, and what it was.
Right, so it was out that you could buy it was called synthetic cannabis, okay? And it was synthetic cannabis, but what it was is the furthest thing from cannabis you can imagine, okay? I read somewhere it was like 700 times stronger than a joint of cannabis, which is true. So, at the time, I couldn't buy it in Manchester. It was legal. There was only one little town on the fringes of Manchester where you could buy it, right? So, I had to travel to go and buy it. And I was buying it from a shop where they sold little lizards and frogs and, you know, really heavy shop. The guy was a white guy with dreadlocks down to the floor, okay? Real heavy shop. Yeah, you can just imagine the vibe when you walked in. It was all hanging plants in there, and he sold frogs and lizards and all these little weird things in cages and little things to eat, you know what I mean? All sorts of stuff. Cricket noises and all sorts, yeah? So he'd charge you £20 for 3 grams. That's what it was, the going rate.
Is this before the government made it illegal?
This is 2012 when spice was legal. Okay?
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you could go in the shops and buy it. But Manchester, there was no one selling it in Manchester at the time. So I ended up going to this shop and speaking to this guy and getting into this guy a little bit. And at the time, he would only sell it me for £20 a go. And then he started saying to me, do you want to start doing testers? So he's giving me bags to sample. So they're making it, manufacturing the spice. And he said to me, the dearest part of the spice manufacturing is not the spice, it's the packaging. So the packaging was costing dearer than the product, what was inside it. Yep. Okay? Yeah? Yep. So he'd give me a bag like that, just in a clear bag, and say, go and test that. So I'd be there, stood there in this little satellite town, trying this spice in the middle of the town centre. And it was the most strongest high. If I thought crack cocaine was strong, have a go of this spice, do you know what I mean? I used to have to hold on to the walls and stuff, Sam, yeah? But because I was taking very heavy drugs from a very young age, you know, I was tripping at 13, 14 all day. I used to love taking trips at school and stuff. So, because my brain was so used to these heavy drugs, it was heavy high, yeah? It sent me into another planet, like. So
if it's doing that to you, what would it be doing to normal people?
That's what I make.
Because I remember, this is one of the cases why the government made it illegal. I think it was a teenager, might have been 15, 16, had bought some, smoked it, that's it, gone. Psychosis, mental hospital, gone, done.
Well, you know what, Sam, I feel responsible in a lot of ways for a lot of that, mate, because, and I've told you about this before.
Yeah, but you know.
I'll tell you why I feel responsible. You couldn't buy spice in Manchester when I started smoking spice. I knew every single street person in Manchester, every beggar, every grafter, every robber, every thief, every dipper, pickpocketer, everyone, right? And what I was doing was, I was going to them people and going, you still on the pipe? And they'd be like, yeah, I'm still, meaning you still smoking crack. And they'd be like, are you? And I'd be like, nah, mate, I ain't smoking crack anymore. I'm smoking this. Try this. And I'd go, yeah, try that. and I'd give him a little ball of the spice, and I'd go, don't smoke it too quick, just take it easy. Or I'd have a joint burn and a spice. So here's an example. There's a big African tall selling umbrellas in the middle of the town centre, Manchester town centre. And he's come to me, oh yes bro, you alright man? So I'm smoking this and he thinks it's a joint of cannabis. So he's gone, oh give me some of that man. And I've gone, mate, it's not weed, it's spice. You won't be able to handle it, it's too strong for you. And he's gone, nah man, I've tried them all, I've had everything, I've tried everything. Honest to God, I'm not lying to you. There was someone there who was a witness with it, I won't say who, but someone witnessed it, what happened. So he's whipped it out my hand. He's took, and I said, mate, don't have more than one drag of it, yeah? Don't start being greedy. And he's gone, and took like 4 big, massive pulls off, and I thought, oh my God, this guy's gonna drop.
Oh, I know what the result of that is.
All of a sudden, he just went, face first on the floor,
yeah.
right? I tried to hold him, couldn't get hold of him, Sam, he hit the floor, right? Yeah. So he's out cold. Some little thief who I know, he was a shoplifter, seen what had happened, straight away, he's robbing mode. He's gone like, yeah mate, I've just given you 20 quid and you fell on the floor. So he knows he's screaming that. When the police come, unbelievably, the police peeled £20 out of this fella's pocket and passed it to the lad, because he blagged it saying, yeah, I've just given him 20 quid and he's collapsed. So I felt responsible, Sam. The police came, yeah, the police came. And when the police came, he's like, oh, mate, I've just given him 20 quid for some flowers and he's collapsed. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is disgusting. How dare you do this to this guy? But I can't stop it. It's not for me to stop, Sam. Yep. So this guy gets took in an ambulance anyway. And then I go to the day centre in town. Because I'm getting clean, I want to become a drug worker. Yeah, I feel like I've got the tools to share with people.
I would think the best drug workers will be people who've been.
So that's what my plan was, all right? But because the spice was around and it was legal, so it wasn't. Remember, it's not illegal, so it's just like
it did become widely available in lots of places.
It was everywhere, wasn't it?
News agents.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah. So I ended up getting shops to sell it in Manchester. People to like.
Marv, if you hadn't have done that, someone will do it.
Yeah, but yeah. So when I used to see all them people falling everywhere on TV, worldwide news, I'd be sat back because I was smoking spice for like 2.5 years and I stopped it before it became illegal.
How did you stop it?
I was grey, stone grey, skinny as a rake, and I realised that I'm addicted to something else again. Just come off crack and now I'm smoking this every day, even though it's legal. I know it's battering my body. Yeah. So I ended up because I knew the guy in the shop in Stockport. He was giving it me. You know what I mean? The guy was giving me like samples and samples and samples. And I think what tipped the scales was I was in town one day and these Romanians who carve beautiful figurines out of sand on the floor.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You've seen them, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I'm got talking to one of them and I'm high off the spice, okay? And I've just bought a package, I've been given a package of spice. So I'm stood there talking to these 2 guys who do the sand. And then I go out to my pockets, I realise my parcel's gone. So I've gone, mate, you've just pickpocketed me, haven't you? And he's gone, what? And we started fighting straight away, yeah? So I'm grappling with these 3 men. First it was 2, then it was 3. So I'm fighting with him saying, you've robbed me, it's the middle of a town centre on a Saturday. So there's this big crowd round us and I'm going, they've just robbed me, yeah? The police come, the police are going, right, what's going on? And these guys are saying, we don't know what he's on about, he's lost his head. And I'm going, you've robbed me. Next minute, touched my pants and realised my parcel, I'd slotted it down my trousers and put it between my bum cheeks. You know, prison mode.
Thanks for that.
No, I didn't put it on my bum, I just put it between my bum cheeks, yeah?
Yeah.
Just slid it down the back of my trousers as like to carry it. But because like you do in jail, any time you're on a wing in prison, you come out of your cell, your drugs are not in your pockets, they are between your bum cheeks or behind your foreskin or whatever, being crude, you'll stash it behind your foreskin. So yeah, I realised the parcel was between my arse cheeks, but I've had to continue this charade that I've been dipped, because I can't just say, oh, here it is, I've just realised I'm sky high flying off this spice. So yeah, the police ended up putting me in a van, taking me home and dropping me off, okay?
Because it was legal. What?
Yeah.
Was it legal to be in possession of it?
It was legal to be in possession of it, to smoke it, to everything. So I'm wrapping a joint in the city centre one day of it, and a CID who knows me, street theft, has come up to me and he's gone, all right, Marv, I didn't know you smoked weed, lad. It don't matter, I'm not bothered about you smoking weed. And I went, no, officer, I'm not smoking weed anyway, mate. You know, he's not going to nick me. You know, he's used to nicking me as a raging crack addict. He's seeing me just smoke weed. It's like a relief to him, you know what I mean? He went, oh, you see it only smoking weed? That's good. I went, nah, mate, it's not. It's spice. And he went, what's that? And it's this legal stuff, what's going around. It's crazy. And he went, I've been hearing about that. I've been hearing about that. And then I'm lucky because, you know, Kira, because I've been with as someone who's a straight member and not a drug addict and not drug thought patterns and all that, normal person, I can sort of distance myself. I can go back to a normal life in some way, do you know what I mean? My addiction allowed me, if I was on the street and taking spice, I've got nowhere to bounce back to, ever to hold on to, do you know what I mean? So luckily, thank God, I had Kira, to someone to look after me, do you know what I mean? So she was saying to me, you're killing yourself on the spice, you're looking grey, you look like you're dying, you're falling asleep mid-conversation, like I'm having conversations with people and I'm just falling asleep, my body's shutting down, I'm not even realising, do you know what I mean? So, and then it's on the news that they're thinking about making it illegal and stuff, and then I'm watching all these people at the Place First in Manchester, and I know that's me because I went around and gave people samples and
Marv,
did all sorts.
It is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but I went on. There's a wall in near Strangeways prison. There's this little drug place where you go when you get out of Strangeways. You've got to go to see this drug team person if you're like a drug addict or on drugs, right? So they refer you to this place to try and like see if you want to get off the drugs and whatnot. And you go in and there's a death wall. And there's a wall with just people's names and photos of people who've died, yeah?
On release?
Been out in a prison and died, either got out that day or they've been out a couple of weeks and they're dead.
2 days, the amount that die within 2 days.
So that death wall, Sam, is filled with people who I know. Filled. I know him, I remember him, and it just goes on and then it starts hitting your brain after a bit. It starts melting your head a little bit and you start thinking, wow, the wave hits you of all them people, do you know what I mean? And like you start getting you start feeling a little bit responsible and thinking you could have done more, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know what I was doing. I just thought I was helping people get off the crack by saying, try this spice, it's legal. You know what I mean? And it's strong as fuck. You don't need to smoke crack anymore when you can try this. Do you know what I'm saying, Sam?
It was about 212, 230.
It was 212, yeah.
Maybe 230.
Strangeways, it was not in Strangeways this day. What happened? Some lad come with from a Cat D and he's got a parcel of it. And none of us knew what it was. He was from some little town in the middle of nowhere, right? Yeah. And everyone was like, what is it, mate? What is it? What is it? And he's going on, it's this new legal weed, right? So he's give it this guy, and this guy was like this. He was like he was a Latvian, but he was a kickboxer, and he was on basic. I don't know if you remember him, like a Latvian or a Russian.
Was it that MMA fight?
Yeah, big tall guy. You remember him? He was always doing kickboxes and spins and all that, right?
He come into prison with a load of belts in.
Yeah, did he? Yeah, right.
Oh, he weren't.
Yeah, so he was the shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
so let me tell you what he did. Let me tell you what he did. The guys give him a bit of that spice. So the lad's doing this exhibition, that's all I can call it, on the yard.
Yeah.
He's literally running up the fence and doing backflips off the fence. Yeah?
Yeah.
So he was the proper shit.
Oh, listen, I saw the belts, me. He was a proper...
He could run up the walls and stuff. Like, he'd do this weird run and do a backflip off the wall and stuff, yeah? Really athletic. But the spice made him do this crazy, he just went into overdrive and started doing backflips and press-ups and commandos, and we're all watching him going, oh my God, has this done that to him? And he's going, yeah, that is so strong, where? And he's flying off it, yeah? And then this guy's in the corner, this is on cabing exercise and this, and everyone's like, yeah, give me one of that, give us a little ball of that, give us a little ball of that. And there's people buying little £50 send-outs off him, and I ain't got no send-out money, right? He's on the 4s, and I'm on the 2s. So I'm like, yeah, lad, send us some of that down, send us some of that down. So he sends me a little ball down like that, right? But he don't know, like, that, like, I want to eat him alive, I want it all.
Was it still the green material?
Yeah,
then?
it's still the green material, yeah. So he's giving me a little ball like that, and he's walking around like he's some bad guy. But I want all his parcel, because I get it, and I think, oh my God, this is so nice. So I catch him going down for his dinner, and I end up like managing to get there and catching him as he's about to come down for his dinner. So I fly up and I get to his cell door, and I get into him, just me and him on his own. So I go, yeah, lad, why have you not sent me none of that fucking shit down? So he's going, oh, mate, I didn't know it was you asking for it, mate. And I've gone, well, sort me some out, lad, give me some. And he's gone, oh, just give me 10, just give me 10. I went, nah, give it us now, I'm on another landing. And he's ended up passing me a ball of it like that, right ball of it, yeah. Passed me a big ball of it, and I've gone, sweet. And I flew down to the landing, and it lasted me about 3 weeks. And I was smoking it all day, every day, just tiny little amounts in a roll up, and it was just lasting me weeks. And I'm thinking to myself, this is stronger than crack. Like, it's, in some ways, it gives you a bigger high for a less amount. Do you know what I mean?
Was it not putting you out?
It was, yeah, but here's the thing. I was in with this scouser in a cell, and this scouser was a very clever lad, and he said to me, Marv, don't start smashing it like it's weed. Because all these kids who you see collapsing on it, they're putting loads of it in.
Well, that's the thing, innit?
Yeah.
Literally, people would take one drag on it.
Yeah, and collapse.
Bam. Hit deck.
Yeah, so there was, all of a sudden, there was 30 call-outs for an ambulance in one day. The staff can't manage it. It sent the wing, K-wing, went loopy, yeah? I was on there for like 4 weeks till I got out, and it was just, this guy had pulled it out, and it just spread on the wing.
That one guy, the stuff he brought,
yeah,
all the wing was...
All the wing lasted us for weeks and weeks and weeks, yeah. Lasted many weeks.
How much more would you put in a
oh my God, a few grains of it, Sam. Literally a few grains of it, do you know what I mean? Like a pinch.
And
would last you
the shit that's in prison now, how much stronger do you think it is?
It's the same. They spray it on paper now. It can be put onto clothes now. So the smoking.
Do you think it'll ever stop it?
No, that's why they need to get a grip on it, Sam. Because as we're going on in life, they're making more and more synthetic drugs. What are getting stronger. There's going to be a drug what comes out. What is just that addictive? It's going to turn people into zombies, but addictive zombies. Well, if there's a drug what's anything like cocaine, what comes out, mate, we're in trouble, aren't we? And it does anything worse than cocaine.
I think prisons are in trouble now, me.
I think we're in trouble now.
You know, the amount that someone could take in up the backside.
That's all it needs, and you flooded the prison, haven't you, for months on end. Yeah, but that's the thing, Sam, that it's very easy, that spice now, to make, to produce, to get it in, do you know what I mean?
So let's go back to when it was legal. Do you think the government should have legislated the content if they're going to keep it legal? Because as soon as you make something illegal, you know, people who tried it and that, they can't get hold of it now, they're going to start manufacturing
that was the government's opportunity, I think, to get, because England are the leaders of the world in like, in the forefront of change. Like, we're the first people to open and lock down, aren't we, of the planet, to fully open without any conditions, yeah?
Excuse me.
We must be. So I think Britain is the forefront of a lot of things.
I think they're at the back with prisons.
Oh yeah,
how they deal with drug addiction.
Yeah, I mean, like in wealth and stuff like that. We're a very small country, but we've got a lot of pull. So I think when that spice crept into the country, I think that was their cue to get a grip on legalising it in some way. Do you know what I mean?
And legislating what it was.
What it was properly, because it wasn't a synthetic cannabis. It's the furthest thing away from cannabis than one can imagine. It's more like synthetic crack. Do you know what I mean? Well, that's what it's called.
Just all chemicals in it.
It's called green crack now, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, Marv, just the smell of it. I can't even imagine what's in it, but the smell of it knocks you sick.
It was killing me.
So what it's doing to people...
Yeah, it was sending me, because like I say, I had this kid giving it me samples. Then I had a shop right next to Strangeways. Yeah, you remember that shop next to Strangeways, right near the visits, right? So he turned into a mate of mine, that young kid. And one day I've gone in the back and he's 2 big sacks, like Santa's sacks, full to the brim of these bags of 8s and grams. One had a sack of grams and one had a sack of 8s in it. And I'm straight away, my first thought was to just grab loads of it. But he's like, Marv, you can't, you know, because the people who are behind it are that major, you know what I mean? You'll end up getting yourself hurt.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do it, do you know what I mean? As much as I'm thinking, I'll go back to Rob mode and try and just take some, and I just thought, you're going to get killed if you do
much? I know this is difficult to say, but quantity-wise, cost-wise, right, Coke and stuff like that, you know, it's getting shit, brought into this country. Weed brought into this country, all them drugs.
Well, they're not.
The thing about spice, well, you can grow it here. We know people do, but spice, it can be it could be manufactured here in Manchester and distributed.
Well, it is. Well, some of it, I guess.
Is that why it is so popular? Because
it's very easy to make,
and make money.
And it's the new thing now. It's the new up and coming. I'm telling you, because all them bath salt craze and all that. Them smelling salts and all that, that's just a synthetic chemical in itself, like either something as close to a synthetic cocaine or as close to, you know what I mean, like an hallucinogen, because I wasn't just taking the spice, I was trying the salt. I didn't really want me that. I've never been a snorter, so I don't like snorting anything. So I had a little tries of dabbles in the powders, and they was just really strong as well, stronger than any legal drug. Do you know what I mean? That was the chance then to get a grip on it, I think, on the legalisation. But how I stopped it, I'm sat in my house one day, I've got 4 apes, and I look at myself, I don't know, I just had like an epiphany, and I just thought I'm killing myself. And not that that ever bothered me, but this time I just thought, I can't do this, I can't do it. And my dog was next to me, and my dog's looking at me, and I'm thinking, I can't kill myself.
How much did you pay for an ape?
It was £20. But then it went down for me to £2.50. I could get an 8 for £2.50. So it used to be £20 an 8, £5 a gram. Yeah. Oh, £10 a gram. £10 a gram for 1 gram, and £20 for a 3.5 gram packet. But like I say, the fellas who was doing it was telling me that the packaging cost more than the actual drug itself, what was in it.
To manufacture it.
But yeah, there's no way that it's ever going to stop, Sam. I think we're going to have to legalise them, aren't they, in some way? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, there is models around the world. This country, I just saw the other day, it is now about 46 grand to keep someone in prison a year.
Yeah. I went to jail 30 times. What for, Sam? I
don't think anyone gives a shit, because we're just building more spaces,
Well,
not
you're
enough.
Going to talk about that, aren't you? You're going to talk about something like that.
Yeah. You know, it's wrong. It's just like providing more spaces, looking at a model, how many people they're going to be sending to prison, expanding prisons.
Well, isn't it 20,000 they think's going to go to prison?
No, I think it's more than that.
More.
19,000 spaces.
Where are they getting all these people from, Sam? Who are the people going to be? Our kids. My son is a future one of them then.
Well, you know Ruthless, yeah? So, who I spoke to the other day, even he said, you know, half the people in prison shouldn't be in prison.
Yeah, drug related, aren't they?
It's drug related. We're not doing nothing about it, not addressing it in any sort of way.
Yeah.
The drugs workers, the methadone program, all that is not stopping anything. It's not getting anyone anywhere.
Yeah.
I had one lad, so some of the conversations you had, I don't know what disability living allowance is now, whether it's all under universal credit. But one of the lads, he was a good lad, saw him at Forest Bank as a YP. Most of them lads didn't go into hard drugs, but he had, and he looked to stay.
Yeah.
And he says, look, Miss Samworth, I get paid probably more than you by the government every month. No one's encouraging me to do anything. No one's helping me.
No, I guess not.
I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I suppose you could live a crime-free lifestyle, couldn't you? But still take drugs. Yeah, there's no reason why not.
Well, I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah, they probably do. Yeah,
but I also
probably
think
more than you imagine.
In the prison service, the young population, what they're doing now.
Yeah.
You know,
but how are they going to get a grip on that then, Sam? How are they going to grip on, like...
Right.
The first thing about prison, taking in unauthorised items,
prisons now, you know, if they are serious about dealing with corruption, unauthorised items, drugs, phones, everything else, it's dead easy. A lot of these prisons have got the portals, the airport style security. They can talk about human rights and that. If you're a prison officer and you sign up every morning, and you could do it. We went through a metal detector at Strangeways. You were wandered and rubbed down every day. A lot of prisons, there's nothing.
Well, do you know how many times we get search going into prison, Sam? For example, Strangeways. Search going on the bus, search coming off the bus, search going into reception, search going round to get your clothes from the other side of reception. That's 4 strip searches just as you're entering the prison.
If the prison service wants the public to take them serious, everyone goes through that. Because I'll tell you what, overnight, no one's taking nothing in. The first time someone gets caught in a prison with a phone or some drugs and they can see it, bam, that's it. No one's doing it again. You know.
Well, if you're thinking you're going to prison for a drug-free lifestyle, you've got another thing coming. Because you ain't going to prison, you're gonna have to search hard and find a drug-free wing.
Listen,
proper drug-free.
Very little talked about this. It is amongst prisoners. You'll know, Marv.
All prisoners smoke weed.
Everyone.
Prison staff, not so arsed. They'd be smoke weed, chill out,
Yeah.
And then someone decided, going to start piss testing people. Weed's in your system 30 days. Overnight.
Heroin 24 hours.
Yeah. Everyone started taking heroin. And they're like...
People was going to prison who'd never touched heroin before and going out as raging.
Yeah, the government's got to take responsibility of that. Politicians
in
general.
Well, even Spice Now's being tested, isn't it?
Well,
they're testing for Spice, aren't they?
What is it doing?
Yeah, what for?
Piss testing for me, right? I did piss testing towards the end of my career. It was a bit of a dark world. What I mean by that, is the lads who done it had done it for years. They were all right lads. They didn't want me. They didn't want me to know about all the paperwork and collating stuff. You know, if they had, pun intended, that job would have been a piece of piss, mate. Me and another staff member, we spent a full weekend doing it, right? So we got no idea. We were doing the basics. But end of weekend, and here's the thing about the government. And prison service with piss testing.
I think you piss tested me when I think about it. I'm sure you did.
Did I? Yeah, I might well have done, Marv.
I'm sure you piss tested me and took me to that
Marv,
room.
The figures are fiddled.
Yeah.
The prison service duty test. If you know someone is
I think you did.
Bang at it, you're not piss testing them every week.
No, well that's what they target the people who are drug-free wings, wouldn't they, and take them just for the numbers to level them out.
They do. It's about a balance. They need some people to be positive.
Oh yeah, well that's they know who they're going for a positive, don't they?
It was a con. Can I just take a drink a minute? It got bitter.
Yeah, they know who they're going. They know who they're taking for a positive and a negative.
But that piss testing, when I did that, I just thought this whole piss testing people is a fucking joke.
So what do you think?
Half the prisons on Spice. Wow. So
I know what's it going to prove. Like,
if they give me a job, right, Sam, who do you want? I'll take him, and him. There you go, 100% positive on Spice. What are you going to punch them with? What are you going to do?
I know, my God,
What are you going to do to them?
Nothing, is it, Sam?
The lads who are telling me they've started taking Spice, lads who've never used drugs in jail, they're taking it because it's boredom, it's bango,
that's it,
and it knocks them out.
Well,
so
that's why
take the TV, fine, I'll just get some more Spice. I don't need a TV because I'll be out cold.
Quite happy to sit there with nothing, mate, as long as you've got a bit of Spice, honestly, because you don't need your TV, you're too spaced out to look at it, you know what I mean, Sam? Exactly. But then again, if they legalise it all, who's going to be the one to say you've had enough and you've had too much and you can have it but you can't and whatnot? Where's the line's going to be?
I don't know, but the first place they start with something they can do. So you give every prison a portal, airport style, and you go through it.
Everyone.
I mean, they said, they were like, I'm not going through that. People can see you.
Yeah, that was
You
the
go
problem,
through them at a
wasn't it?
fucking airport if you want to go on holiday.
Yeah.
So if you want to work as a prison officer, you go through them.
Yeah.
Everybody who enters a prison. Prisoners, legal staff, civvies, teachers, prison officers, all go through it. Everybody. Yeah?
That's true, yeah.
That had cut some of corruption out straight away.
It would, yeah. Well, for sure, yeah. It'd strip it down a lot, yeah. But I think now the synthetic drugs and the amount of cocaine and the amount of people who are addicted, the amount of prison staff are addicted, and it's just a line where
Well, I'll tell you a thing.
At the minute.
There's no prison dogs, is there?
No, they've stopped it now.
So let's suppose, because you know, prison told me someone sends them a pair of socks in soaked in spice.
Yeah.
How are they going to detect that? Can you smell it?
They ain't, no. There's no way.
So as a prison officer, if I work in Strangeways now, I used to wear a white t-shirt.
Yeah.
So I take a white t-shirt covered in spicing every day.
Yeah.
You get a t-shirt
and swap it
out at
over.
stores. Leave that one there. How much is a
That's it.
t-shirt covered in spice
Oh
worth?
my God, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds.
Boiling it up.
Yeah, thousands, yeah. Madness.
It's that easy, innit?
Smoke it on pipes, don't
It's that easy, innit?
Yeah. Little ball of it on a pipe and that's it, you're away. Yeah.
So they're not going to stop. However, you know, all prisoners' mail, photographs and that's get photocopied.
Yeah,
I
they don't
keep
give you
seeing the
real mail
government
anymore, do
saying,
they?
we're going to stop prisoners taking it in. We're going to...
Where's it going to stop then, mate?
Well, it's not, is it?
No.
Because they're not really interested, are they?
No. No, they don't know what avenue to start it with, mate. They ain't got a clue. I mean, they've just had this focus of this one-track mind war on drugs. So that means anyone who takes drugs is the enemy, then, isn't it? If it's a war, you're the enemy. You take drugs, you're the enemy. It don't matter what drug, what for, what reasons, why you're doing it.
You know,
You're just
the
enemy,
whole
aren't you?
prison thing's embarrassing because, you know, when people who are coming out of prison are telling you that there is staff approaching them now.
Yeah,
You know, do you need anything? Do you want anything?
yeah. And you know what? Every time I come out of prison, I come out an addict as well. An addict every time. It's not once I come out of prison and that wasn't an addict. So
People don't understand. People who are trying to do good don't understand.
yeah,
So you go back to the DF118s. Did you ever take them?
yeah, I tried them once.
Right,
yeah.
DF118s. It's like a detox. You're still
Yeah.
going to do a rattle, aren't
Give
you?
you a slight high, don't they? That's
Yeah,
someone's doing
yeah,
it before, yeah.
but you're still going to do a rattle. 7 days. Used to see him at the bank, not the bank like that, Forest Bank.
Yeah.
The lads, they'd do the rattle. You'd see them then, so they detoxed. They'd be going at gym. They put weight on. They look better. As soon as they introduce methadone, they come in looking like shite, and they go out looking like shite.
Yeah,
because
fucking hell.
people were like, "Wow, DF." I spoke to some Americans, lovely people,
Yeah,
on a Zoom call. They were having a bit of a drug thing, and I was asked to join in.
yeah.
And when I told them about a DF118, they obviously all knew what it were. They were like, "Oh, it's disgusting human rights." And I said, "You don't understand. I saw people do a rattle, be in jail 6 months,
Yeah.
and leave looking healthy,
Yeah.
put weight on,
Yeah.
a little bit
That was me
fitter."
as a crackhead, mate. Honestly, I used to go into jail, put pure weight on, look absolutely like a specimen, and then just not eat anything for 3 weeks while I'm smoking.
They've got it all wrong at the minute, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're not stopping drugs. All these big announcements,
No,
all these big things on
we
prison.
need to get hold of him, don't we, Sam?
Well,
sit down and chat with him and tell him.
There's a reason that most prisons now of a certain size have got corruption departments. They didn't used to have them,
Well,
did
there
they?
you go, yeah, that's it.
But the corruption departments and everything else now, inexperience everywhere, inexperienced management, inexperienced staff.
Well, you just said you've got prison officers going up to lads coming out of prison now, asking him, did he want to do
Yeah,
a
but I
parcel
do believe
run?
them as well. I do believe them.
Yeah.
You know, these are hardened criminals
Yeah.
who are like, I can't even believe it myself, Mr. S. You know, you see people.
Mad one, mate, I know.
We're coming up to the hour mark. This is like the spice edition, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is, this one, even one of our stories. This was a good old chat me and you have, like we do, don't we, Sam?
Spice edition.
You know what? Yeah, the spice edition, yeah. But you know what? We make some good points, though, mate. You know what I mean?
Marv, people, they don't care. Get everyone going through the portal.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Yeah.
It's no problem. Like I said, I used to take my shoes off every day.
Yeah.
I take my belt off every day. I take money out of my pockets.
Yeah.
I put my car keys in the tray. That's what you did. Go that step further. And do you know what?
Hello.
employ an outside agency to operate that.
Yeah.
So it's none of the prison staff. No one's taking the piss.
Another outside agency.
You know, if you want to go on holiday, you do it. Nobody argues at airport, do they? And
No,
kicks
that's
off.
true. No,
and says, "I'm not
that's
doing
right.
that."
No, you've got a good point there, mate. Yeah. But then what about the getting it all sent through the postal? So postal
Well,
service.
that's why everything is, you know, photocopied now, innit?
Yeah, you don't get physical letters anymore. They give you
No, you don't get photographs. I don't think you get photographs.
You don't get
I think they're actually photographing photographs and that.
So
So
they've shut
I
down-
understand why they're doing
They
it.
shut down all the com routes, but they've left all the.
Well, I just said I could go in with a
the staff
t-shirt
routes
on.
open.
I could
Yeah.
go in with a t-shirt on every day.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, if I ended up in a situation, you know, you might end up in a restraint or something. I got claret on my clothes.
Yeah.
On healthcare or K-Wing, you're good at stores. I'd get a white t-shirt,
That's it,
put
yeah.
it on under my shirt or
Yeah, of
something.
course, mate,
Dead
yeah.
easy.
Yeah, yeah.
So every day I could go in a white t-shirt, take it in, spiced up.
Spiced
Ooh.
up. Wow.
There you go. How easy is that?
Party time again, yeah.
How easy is that?
It's easy as pie, mate. Easy as pie. Easy as pie.
Right, mate. Are we calling it quits now?
Yeah.
Any final words on that?
Any final words is we just got to make clear that we don't do it to
It's not about glorifying
We're
anything.
not glorifying anything. We're doing the opposite, yeah. So what it is just a little lesson. It's a tale and it's a lesson, isn't it? Of
Well, hopefully people will look at it like that.
well, if you think about they're opening another 19,000 more prison places for the middle of the century. That's all our kids who are growing
I
up
think
now.
that's by 2026.
Yeah, well, yeah, for the future.
However, Marv, the government's own model
yeah,
of how crime is expanding and the
Yeah.
amount of people going to go to prison,
yeah,
19,000 places don't cover what they're thinking.
yeah, it's even more. Yeah, they're looking.
So-
It's going to be more. So it's going to be cramped conditions. What you're going into.
Yeah, we'll go
Yeah.
on and on.
We go on. We'll chat again.
Yeah, we will get back to your life story.
Yeah, we will eventually.
Thanks for coming. I'll see you.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.